I don't know how I'm gonna follow Asia Monroe. That was my heart is pumping. She's amazing. But thank you. I've met several of you already. For those who are here and who are watching from home, my name is Day Pope, and I'm the Director of Civic Engagement with TAKE, and I'm also the PA Coalition for Trans Youth co-founder here in Pennsylvania. And a little bit sobering after that performance, which was so much fun. I think what has been heavy on my spirit lately is that there's a group of people in this country who are trying to drag us back to the 1950s. They don't want women to have the right to our own bodies. They don't want trans people to be able to transition, especially if we're young people. They don't want queer people to have a picture of their spouse at work if they work in a school or a public building. And I feel like for us in 2022, it almost feels like, are we back in the 70s? Are we back in the 50s? Like, what has happened? They're trying to drag us back into the past. And it's really scary, and because there's a pandemic, because there's a war, because there's a million and one things happening, I think that it's got lost in the shuffle a little bit. But right now in Pennsylvania, they have tried to introduce a don't say gay style bill like Florida's bill, which would make it so that you can't talk about queer and trans identities in school, even if it's relevant to your history class, for example. 450 different books have been censored in Pennsylvania's schools and libraries by conservatives, and most of these books have to do with LGBTQ people, have to do with racial justice. The legislature here in Pennsylvania tried to pass an anti-trans youth in schools bill that keeps trans youth from being able to participate in sports and facilities that match their gender. And several states like Alabama, Texas, Florida have banned healthcare for trans kids and actually made it a felony and are throwing parents and doctors in jail for supporting their trans kids. So we're in this profoundly scary time, and Pennsylvania could go that route as well, depending on who wins this election this year, who our governor is, who's in the legislature. So I don't think any of us want abortion to be banned statewide, which will lead to the deaths of countless women, non-binary folks, and trans men. I don't think we want to live in the 1950s, where the only people who are allowed to thrive and express themselves are straight white guys with money. I think we want to make it so that we can keep our diverse community of queer people, trans people, people of color, working class people, people who want to live expansive lives. And in order to do that, we have to vote. So if you're in this room right now and you're not sure if you're registered to vote, or even if you think you are, we have QR codes posted around. Scan the QR code, it'll pull up our Turbo Vote link, which is a tool that'll help you to check your registration status, check where your polling place is, or register to vote. We can also help you at a table over towards the front on our computers. And if you're watching this from home, we really want you to think about this, because you've probably seen the ads, you've probably read the tweets. It gets exhausting when we get this close to election day. Most of us feel that way. But if we don't vote, we might wake up in 2023 with fewer rights than we had in 2022, and we can't let that happen. So voting this year, if you're queer, trans, if you're a woman, if you're a person of color, if you're all of the above, or if you're just someone who wants to live in 2022 and not 1950, then you have to get out and vote. Thank you.